What up, what up, what up, what up, weirdos? It's your boy Raindrop, Raindog, Rain Drizzle, my co-host, co-captain, Cole, conspirator, Uncle Juju.
What is up, babies?
How's everybody doing? Welcome back to BXTV, aka Back from Hell, your Spotify and YouTube podcast where you didn't know everything you needed to know with your boys. Every week, you know what I'm saying? We got a weekly upload on YouTube and Spotify, so it doesn't really matter where you are, you can find us, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. And smash that like button and subscribe because you
Yeah,
get everything you need to know.
it helps. It does help. We also do YouTube shorts on comic books. Basically, we'll tell you what happened in an issue or a crazy event, some stuff like that. Cool little facts. So make sure you follow and subscribe, you know what I'm saying? All that good stuff.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, welcome back, everybody. Glad to be here. Juju's here. It's always a good time.
Yep. Oh,
We
yeah.
did a live stream
Always a good
over
time.
on Twitch, which we do every Friday and Saturday at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to come talk live in the chat or yell at us about our opinions on comic books, you can do that at BrainDeadXTV on Twitch every Friday and Saturday at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So join us. You know what I mean? And it's free. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free and get no ads. So, you know what I'm saying? So get on over there. You know what I mean? It's probably the highlight of our week every week is those 2 nights. We got a fun chat.
Yes.
So come and get active.
Yes. Active. No, join. No. But every week we do hear a thing that's called Comic Book of the Week,
We
where we take
do.
a comic book and we put it on the chopping block. We rate it 1 to 10 on art and story. Or sometimes we give all around numbers if we don't feel like breaking it down. That's always a possibility, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, we sometimes just give it a one final score, you know what I'm saying? But if you've been following us for a while, you would sorry, I got something in my keyboard.
Ooh.
If you guys have been following us along, we have been covering Universal Monsters Frankenstein by Image and Skybound. It's been a fucking awesome series. It's written
Yes.
and drawn by Michael Walsh. He has been absolutely crushing it. I mean, I don't know. Like Juju says, it feels like a side of the movie you never got to see.
Yes. And I think it is probably one of my favorite adaptations of the Frankenstein story too. Honestly. Um just the way that the art is done, the way that the story has been written, and the fact that it doesn't deviate almost at all from the movie. So everything that happened in these comic books plausibly could have been going on in the movie in like the behind the
Yeah,
scenes,
yeah, somewhere else, you know. No, I
Yeah.
agree. That is what really made it awesome. Like it really did feel like a part of the movie, and it's because the guy Michael Walsh, he loves the Frankenstein movies and all that stuff. Like, so it was like more of like a passion project for him, which I would imagine it is if
Yeah.
you're doing the writing and the drawing for a 4-issue miniseries. Like, which I mean, it's my favorite Universal Monster story so far out of the
Yeah,
ones we've
it
read.
is.
We haven't read the Dracula one yet, but the
No, I
Creature from the
want
Black
to.
Lagoon was awesome, but I like this
Yes,
more.
it was. And the creature from the Black Lagoon also, like, they kind of did like a semi sequel to the original movie. This was like another angle. It was almost like Back to the Future Part 2, in that it's the same movie just from a different angle, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Or from a different character's perspective. And they introduced the boy who, like, is in the first scene of Frankenstein, the movie. There's a little boy, plausibly could have been the kid from the comic book. Like, very plausibly.
That's a good eye.
Um,
That's a good eye.
yeah. Because I think I watched the 39 movie before we read the comic book. So it was already like in my mind as I was reading it. I was like, "This is that's from the movie. That's from the movie. That's from the movie." Like,
No,
that was a
yeah.
character in the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I mean, like you said, and like I said, it's like beat for beat like the movie, and I mean, even the art style, it's real like dark and eerie, but not too dark. You
yes,
know, like the colors still pop when they need to. So I mean,
yes.
I loved it. I loved it all the way through. I think everybody, when the hardcover comes out, you should have all these on your shelf. Or if you like hunting down issues,
The individual, yeah.
I'm sure it's not too expensive. I mean, it originally had a $4.99 cover price, so whatever you want to do with that, you so
Yeah, and Del Toro's Frankenstein is also coming out, so that may go up in value.
yeah, it
Um,
may. I think it'd be yeah, I mean maybe. I mean if it has anything to do with like the stories in the book, which I doubt though.
I, I think it is a straight, not really remake, but it's Del Toro's version of Frankenstein. So it's going to be off of the book, I think, more so than the Boris Karloff, but I could be wrong. You know, he is a big
Who is
Frankenstein fan.
who is doing who who is Frankenstein? Who's playing Frankenstein?
You know, good question. I did not look that up, but I will right now.
Because that's my main question. I want to know who's gonna play that big scary monster.
Yeah.
Who's the big scary monster in your Frankenstein movie, dog?
All right. Oscar Isaac's playing Victor Frankenstein. Who's playing the monster?
It's all good. You can just look it up later, dude. Let's just keep
Yeah, I'll
talking.
look. I'll let you know. Um, I'll send you the trailer that I saw on YouTube, the
Okay,
first
hell
look.
yeah.
Um, but again, this was a kill. This particular series of Universal monsters, I really do like. We read two of them thus far for the chat, and I really want to read Dracula. Um,
I mean, yeah, dude. It's exciting to see what people do with these properties. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
uh, I don't know though. It's like it's exciting because like this was like a 10 out of 10, like just to go ahead and grade it,
yes,
like this was a 10 all the way through, like not one issue wasn't a 10. Like I loved it all the way, like you know the story was intriguing and like
yep,
you felt all these different emotions by the end of it for the monster. And
yes,
like I don't know, it's just like the real monster is Dr. Frankenstein, you know, like
yes,
so it's like it's fucked up and it's great though at the same time. So,
yeah,
and the kid is going through it. Like that whole thing with the kid is
yep,
like you said, it's just a great point of view that you didn't get in the movie, and I
yeah,
think it landed. Like I think the finish was very strong. Like
yes. And one thing I'm glad that they didn't do that I was afraid that they might was to subvert the original by having the kids somehow let Frankenstein out of the windmill, because it's very tempting to do that just to be like, oh, you know, Frankenstein's monster is still out there and still exists. Because in the Frankenstein book, that's the middle of the part. So the monster survived the windmill in the book, but in the movie, they're like the censors were like all monsters must go by the end of your movie. So it makes it more tragic, in my opinion. And I'm glad that they stuck to the original ending. And I also liked how they humanized. They really brought the point home that Frankenstein is consisted of parts of other people. So they talk about where
yeah,
they get the brain. They talk about where they get the hands. They talk about where they
yeah,
get the eye. You know,
all of
so
it. Yeah, like he's actually this like weird fucking
an
multi-person.
amalgamation of people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nah, it's fucked. But it's cool. Like, it was really cool to see what this dude would do with
yeah,
Frankenstein, his story. And I'm excited for whatever comes next with the Universal
yeah,
Monsters. I'll definitely be picking those up as well. I need to get Dracula. That's the only one I'm missing.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm super excited. And I'm excited to see what other people do with old characters and stuff, too. Like, for instance, James Gunn has been popping up on X, Twitter, whatever you
Yes.
want, a lot recently this past week because, you know, he was going on a rant on somebody's podcast, which, like, was a valid rant in my opinion,
Yeah.
saying
Oh.
that scripts just aren't good anymore. People just want to put an IP out on this date,
Mm-hmm.
and they just do that. But more so, what I care about out of that is I'm honestly like I'm not as nervous as a lot of people are for James Gunn's DCEU. Like I feel like we're in good hands.
I'm not
And
nervous at all.
yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, I am a little nervous for Superman because like that's his first movie in the universe, and if that movie sucks, it's gonna get held over him so hard.
Oh,
But
yeah, and so many projects are getting canceled. Like,
yeah, like
because Warner Brothers is like that. Like, oh, well, no, that wasn't Warner Brothers. It was Universal tried to do the Dark Universe, and that only got one movie before they scrapped everything else. You know, so their studios are not afraid to pull it if like one movie is not good. If like the beginning movie is not good, the whole fucking shebang gets yanked.
that's what
You
I'm
know.
saying, man. Like I'm hoping like it's like I'm just hoping it's good, and like I low-key have a hard sell on. It's a hard sell for me on the guy who's playing Superman. Like, I've seen him in the costume, and it just doesn't quite hit like Cavill or the guy from even the CW, Lois and Clark, or
Yes.
like Clark and
Yeah,
Lois or whatever.
Superman and Lois.
Yeah,
Or
Superman and
even
Lois.
Dean Cain.
Yeah, like
You know,
it just doesn't quite feel like it just quite
I
doesn't.
mean, I will be real with you. Fucking Henry Cavill had the presence. Like when he fucking landed and like went to the army,
That's what
it
I'm
was like, oh
saying.
fuck, that's Superman. I don't know. I'm not really sold on the suit too much either, but that could just be me being a weird
I mean,
nitpicky motherfucker.
to
You
be
know?
fair though, it's supposed to be very early on Superman, if I'm correct.
Okay, that makes me feel better a little bit too. Because it's not like established like Clark Kent Superman. You know, it's him a little bit early on. You know, so I can kind of see them getting away with certain things from that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just more excited for the properties that will show up because of Superman and
Because
James
yeah,
Gunn's movie, which, for instance, like the Lantern show, Lanterns, I think
yes,
is what they're calling it.
yeah. Mhm.
Um, it's supposed to be like straight up like True Detective style. So I mean, I'm fucking all about it because I mean honestly, it's Aaron Pierre playing Jon Stewart and Kyle Chandler as
Yeah,
fucking Hal Jordan. Like I think that could be fire, man. That guy,
yeah,
Rebel Ridge wasn't my favorite movie, but it wasn't a bad movie by any means. Like his role in it was fucking awesome. He played like a Batman type character, and like I immediately when I saw it, I was like, oh, I can see this guy playing a superhero. You know what I'm saying? Like he's already
yeah.
playing like a soldier who acts like Batman for Christ's sake. So it's like I mean, he did so well. It's just like the movie was kind of dull, like because like I don't know. It
Yeah.
wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. But I think it could be good. I think it could be really good, and I'm very excited for our first live action Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
So, because I mean we've never had one. So
Yeah.
he's one of my
And
favorite characters.
I'm excited for a decent live, not even decent, a good live action Green Lantern. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Well, that too.
I mean,
You know, I mean
because
that's
like
true. I just, you
um
know, Oh damn! I lost my lighter.
Um, I will also say this to while you're doing that. I feel like we're in good hands because he basically said what I have been saying about the movie industry for many, many years now. The writing is just not good. Um, they fast track these productions, and the product suffers, and he's well aware of that fact. So I think I if somebody came up to him with some horrendous dog shit, he would look at it and immediately either tell him do a second version or we're just not doing this. You know. So I think he has a good head on his shoulders, and he's a good director. Honestly, I have not seen a movie of his to date that I did not enjoy in one fashion or another. You know,
I mean, I love Scooby
um,
Doo.
I love Scooby Doo. I loved. I think Slither is also one of his. I I actually really did like the live action Scooby Doo, like way more than I think I should have.
I mean, I did because of the age I was. I was like 7 or 8 years old probably,
Yeah.
and like I loved the cartoon growing up in any fashion. Like even the one where they're little
Yeah.
kids on fucking they play it during the day. It was like
What was a pup named Scooby Doo?
yeah. I loved the fuck out
Yeah.
of that. So like I just loved Scooby Doo. So when I saw a live action, and then it was fucking Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh,
Oh
dude, the cast was stacked in that.
yeah, and
Like
fucking Matthew Lillard. Holy
Matthew
shit.
Lillard, the chick who played Velma, who was still hot no matter what she's in. She was in
Yeah.
Freaks and Geeks, one of my earliest crushes. Linda Carterini, fellow
Yeah.
Italian.
Nah, dude, I fully back that movie. Like I watched it not that long ago. I went to bed to it. Like I watched like the first 45 minutes and was like,
Yes.
what is not good about this? Like till this
Yeah.
day. Like if I had kids, I would put that movie on.
Yeah.
Like maybe a
Did
little
he,
bit older, but
yeah.
no,
Did he
no,
do
no.
the sequel or no?
No clue. No clue on that.
No clue. Okay.
No clue.
Because I did like the second one too. I'm gonna be on it, and I know that a lot of people like to shit on the second one more than they like to shit on the first one. But I thought they were both very good.
I enjoyed both. I mean, like I said, I was a Scooby Doo fanatic, so like, it didn't really matter how I got it. I just loved it, which is probably a biased opinion on these movies. Low key is that I love Scooby Doo so much, but I don't know though, man. I think he understood the property just like he did with Guardians. You know,
Exactly.
like he understands it, and I don't know. He like actually gets comic books. Like he reads them and shit. So like, it helps, and I feel like he really does want to just do justice by these movies. Like he's not. I mean, like obviously, like he sees the dollar signs and the successfulness of making these movies. Like that's anybody who's gonna do this. But I feel like he genuinely puts like just trying to make a good movie out of this property first, like over everything.
Yes. And I think coming from working under Kevin Feige, whose mentality seems to be a little bit on the more opposite end, I think it was his time to be like, all right, I'm gonna do something and have full creative control over this, and fuck Marvel and their bullshit rules. You know, like I'm gonna do Peacemaker that's gonna say fuck and cunt and shit, and be the
Yeah.
most vulgar thing next to the boys on fucking television. Like, you really could tell that he was stymied doing Guardians of the Galaxy. Like that Marvel basically just had their boot on his neck. Like he wasn't able to make the movie he really wanted to make, so he went to the juggling studio.
I don't agree with that on Guardians. I don't believe I don't believe he didn't make the movie he wanted to make, cuz he literally drops the F word. He says fuck in the third one. Like I mean, I think that was just like a fuck you to Marvel cuz he was leaving.
Yeah.
But I think he made the movies he wanted to with Guardians. I think it was the amount of pressure from them being on his ass.
Too.
Yeah, like I feel like I feel like I think it's more about just them, like, I think they had their foot on his neck, but I don't think his movie suffered from it.
No, not at all. Those are one of my favorite Marvel movies. Is all three of them. And I mean, again, I haven't seen a movie of his that I did not like in some capacity or another. Like Brightburn was brilliant in my opinion.
That's one I still gotta watch. I might do that tonight. I might get stoned to the bone and just watch Brightburn.
Yeah, watch Evil Superman.
You know what though, man? I have the funniest action figure setup idea, and I'm working on it as we speak. I think I told you, there's a Lex Luthor in the super suit on the throne over there. Mm-hmm. I'm currently working on getting a bunch of different, so I have two ideas. I'm either going to get a bunch of different variants of Superman and get him to bend the knee around the throne, or I'm going to get Superman, Black Adam, Shazam, like all the like super, you know, like
OP.
Yeah,
OP superheroes.
like super guys. I'm gonna just get like all of them and surround them bowing the knee to him, like.
And in the front, you should put the grave of was it Jason Todd?
Yeah, oh yeah, just fucking. Nah, what I might do is try and find somebody selling like Doomsday or Superman like broken pieces, like because people on Mercari and eBay will sell like pieces lots because people like make customs and shit out of them.
Yeah, they kit bash.
Yeah. So I was like, maybe I should get like a Superman head and like paint it with like red and like make it battle damaged.
Yeah.
And just have that like on his like throne with his hand on it. Cause like there's an arm, like his arm sits on the throne, so like,
you just lift it up, stick it in there.
Like have his hand like over top of it. I think it'd be so sick though, just like the one guy who has like the fucking throne of Superman being a bitch, like, cause, like, dude, cause like not to go back onto what we talked about on Twitch last night. But that Doomsday fight on fucking Superman and Lois is low-key so fire because you see Superman get dog-walked for a little bit. Yeah. Like, and like, you're not used to it, at least for me, because I'm not a huge Superman fan. And like, my like, idea of Superman is like, oh, Almighty can't be hurt other than like, you know.
Take a bullet to the eye.
Yeah, so like, when I saw Doomsday just dog walking him, I was like, oh my god, bro. Like, and then you see him like kind of like see his family like flashing and like he just has that moment of rage and it's like, okay, like you are a badass. Like Superman is not this like he can go.
He's not a whiny bitch.
Yeah, like he throws hands, dog. Like that Doomsday fight, they were literally just punching the shit out of each other.
And again, like I can't understand. I'm so glad that it is not punch, skyscraper. You know, it was contained. It was vicious.
Well, until they got into space during like the meteor thing or whatever that was. Like, he started punching him, and he would like fly through a couple of those pieces, and like, nah, because he also punched him from space to another planet. Like they both did it to each other. You know what I mean? Like he punched him in space, and then he went flying, and then he punched him literally from space into another planet, and that's when he like got all rage mode and started to spaz. So it made me want to watch the fucking show, like straight up.
Oh, I'm probably tomorrow before I go see Gladiator. I'm gonna pop in a few episodes because I really want to know like how they started this show, like what. Like, obviously, it's Superman and Lois, and they have, like, 2 kids, and they have a domestic life.
So...
But I kind of want to know, like, how the intro of it actually starts.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I have some idea, because I've watched, like I said, I put it on when I go to bed. So, like, I've watched, like, 3 episodes, go to bed, wake up to it on, like, season 2, watch a couple episodes, go to bed.
Yeah.
And then started over again.
Because it's a CW show like that. Like the whole
Yeah.
season is over by the time you wake up. You know, like
I mean, fucking.
like I do that with Supernatural sometimes, but like
Unless it's fucking Gotham, that shit's longer than shit.
yeah.
That
Well,
shit.
I think Gotham came out on Fox originally.
Oh well.
So, which also, but like Gotham also to a certain extent does kind of have like that CW feel a little bit.
A little bit?
Like,
Are you joking? Like, are you saying are you trying to be nice? Like, are you thought I was gonna disagree or something? Because yours
no,
is like you're saying it's like this. I'm saying it's like this much CW. Like,
yeah, it's like this much CW, that much Nolan.
like you can tell
much
Harvey wants to. That actor wants to say fuck so bad, but he's not allowed
Sadly,
to.
yeah.
Like, his character, like, demands him to say fuck the way... Because he acts like it. He acts like a real edgy... I mean, and he does a good job of not... He does a very good job of, like, portraying, like, a fucked up, like, edgy cop without crossing that line of, like, CW not allowing him to do what he does in the role. Like,
Yeah.
I think he, like... Because, and that's the problem, though. They don't let him cross that line. So when somebody responds not as charismatic as him, it feels corny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he'll be like super into his role, and then you get this like fucking D-roll actor who's just playing some like side cop, and
Yeah.
it just like, oh well, this sucks.
And to your point, I think Harvey Bullock in Gotham is a great example of the banality of corruption, where it is so mundane, almost you don't think about it. Like it's just he's just like, all right, I know who we got to talk to, so like we got to go to the mob run bar and
Yeah, yeah.
slip the bartender a 50, and
Kiss his
like
fish, the
it's
fucking
so
mobster herself.
yes,
Like, that is what
like
threw me off when I watched it, is when they... Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. You're
no,
cooking.
it's just no, it's just the banality of corruption and how like in a city like Gotham, something that we would look at it and be like, that cop is on the take. Oh my god! Like in Richmond, oh my god. In Gotham, it's like, yeah, if you don't want your car to be stolen, you got to give the cop a 50.
Yeah. Nah, dude. And that's what I like about Gotham, though, is that it's very much Batman-esque in the fact that, like, the tables are always turning and shifting. Like,
Yes, it's
like they're
always
the only constant so far is two things for me. Well, three. There's three things. Gordon is always gonna get the shit end of the stick.
yep.
He might get out of it, but he's gonna get ran through the fucking gutter. Like, he's gonna get ran through the fucking gutter on it. Like, like, the worst possible shit that can happen is gonna happen to him. Two,
Yep.
the Penguin's gonna lie.
Yep.
Three, Carmine, right, that's his name?
Carmine Falcone, yeah.
Yeah, Falcone, sorry, I blanked for a second. Long Halloween. I know who he is.
Yeah.
He is low-key smarter than you think he is.
Yes. And John Dorman is brilliant at playing characters like that. When I
Oh,
tell
yeah,
you, watch
he's such a good
Borgia,
actor.
yes, he is. I knew how bad the corruption in the Vatican Church was. I did not know how bad until I watched the Borgias, and was like, it's so because he does that role really well, where he's just like the Machiavellian, so he's always like 3 steps ahead of everybody else. So he's like,
Yeah.
that person's going to do this, so I'm going to do that, so I'm going to do that. Plans upon plans upon plans upon plans, and it just to watch how he becomes Pope was like, I'm never going to church again. Never. There's nothing holy about this at
Yeah,
all.
this shit's
Like,
fucked up.
thank you, John Dorman. You played
Yeah.
it perfectly. Also, honorary Italian.
Honorary Italian is hilarious, dude. No, he plays a really good mob boss. Like,
Yes.
he crushes it in that show and everything else he's in. You know, somebody that I wish that I would see show up that I think would fit into this show very well is fucking James Spader. I feel like
yeah.
if James Spader was in Gotham, he would have played a really good character. I'm not quite sure who.
Yeah.
Definitely a villain.
You know, I think who is the rival?
Do they have a Mad Hatter in that show?
Yes, they do. It's season 3.
Okay, that's why I don't know yet.
It's like the guy who in the rival company in Batman the Animated Series. That he's kind of like the anti Bruce Wayne in a way.
Yeah. It's been so long.
I forget what his name was.
Oh shit! I fucked up.
I think it's like Raven Industries or Ravencroft or something Gotham like that.
Yes, it is. I think it's Ravencroft. I'm pretty positive it's Ravencroft.
He would have been a good younger version of him. You know, because it's like in the Batman or Bruce Wayne's younger years, so obviously he would be a guy on the rise in this alternative Wayne Enterprises, you know?
I can get behind that. I'm trying to think, man. I'm trying to think of somebody else. I don't know. But I would have loved to see him show up in Gotham. I know he doesn't, but it would have been cool. That's all I'm saying. You know what other fucking show is really fucking cool, man? Which, guys, we're going to be breaking this show down season by season, arc by arc. We're just going to throw it into podcast, maybe do a podcast alone by itself, but they will all be labeled so you know where to find the Justice League, the animated series pod.
Yes, this is Justice League, the original animated series, not Justice League Unlimited.
Which we will get to, though.
Yeah, we will get to that. But we'll also specify if it's Justice League or Justice League Unlimited. Just coming
Justice League came out in, 2001? Yeah, November 17th, 2001. Directed by Butch Luckett and Dan Riba. I believe it came out on Cartoon Network originally. I could be wrong about that.
I believe that is correct.
Justice League American Animated Television ran from November 17th, 2001 to May 29th, 2004 on Cartoon Network. So, yeah, there's like fucking how many episodes does Netflix put in a season? There was originally like 5 seasons on Cartoon Network broken up into like I think it's 3 seasons.
3 seasons. Yeah.
On Netflix. But it's I'm sorry, I should have this already pulled up.
Bustin'. You're good. I watched it on Max, by the way, and I think they said 3 seasons on it too.
Yeah, so there's 26 episodes. There's 2 seasons with 26 episodes each. So there's like 56 fucking like, you know what I mean, 57, 58.
Yeah.
Like
we did the math. That's like four standard Netflix seasons.
Yeah, like there's a lot of episodes basically, and they're super sick because they're all like they're all 2 to 3 part episodes. They all connect and have like an ongoing story. Like the first one is called Secret Origins or whatever. Origins, I think is what it's called. The first. And
I think it's called.
And that one is sick because like you get to the first 3 episodes, you get to meet in the first episode you meet the first 3 characters, Superman, Batman, and then Martian Manhunter, and you get the whole history on how he got there in the first 3 episodes. Like it's like a story on like how he got there and why he's there and what he's done. And by the end of it, you have the whole Justice League, Flash, Wonder Woman, John Stewart, the Green Lantern, Hawk Girl. So like, it's just like it's panned out perfectly. You know what I mean? Like, imagine back in the day, you're watching that week to week, and like, you know what I mean? 3 weeks in, it's like, oh, now we have the whole Justice League. This is sick.
Yeah, like, and also the fact that they all all of them literally end on cliffhangers, except for like the final episode of
Yeah,
the
the
arc.
third one, which is like,
Yeah.
which I love because the next arc we cover is Blackest Night or whatever, Darkest Night or
Yes.
whatever, the Green
Mhm.
Lantern John Stewart one. So I'm very excited for that. But in this one, yeah, you pretty much learn all about Martian Manhunter, and like you get everybody's personality like in like different
Yeah.
sections of each episode. Like they have Wonder Woman like at the end of the end of the third episode. They're all in the Justice League headquarters or whatever, and like out in space, and Flash is like ice macchiato or ice mocha,
Yep.
and Wonder Woman's like, we don't have these from where I'm from, and it's just like
Yeah.
they keep playing into that the whole like time she's being introduced, is that like she's never been to like
Outside
it's
the
outside of
world of men.
yeah, so it's cool, and like you get Jon Stewart's personality, Hawk Girl. I like to mention that him and Hawk Girl show up at the same time, and
Yeah.
they team up together in the episode as well. And I think it's cool because, spoiler alert, they do that later in the show as well, and I feel like they
Yeah.
planted that seed early.
Yeah.
Like,
Of the we're gonna pair off because they were like I think it's in the second episode where they're like the there's some alien invasion going on, guys.
yeah, yeah.
It starts off
There's
with that.
a
Which, by the way, I did like that it was an homage to War of the Worlds with the fucking tripods that
oh
and
yeah.
coming in on the asteroid. I love me some H.G. Wells, so whatever. Sorry. Um, and they basically Superman and Batman find out that they can't necessarily beat these things. So and then Superman gets a telepathic message from Martian Manhunter who's being held in a government base, and he just zips out. And Batman's just like, "Where the fuck is he going?" The Air Force shows up, so he's like, "All right, well, they're shooting these things, so I'm gonna go and find out what the fuck Superman's up to." Um, and he shows up at the base, and they open it, they free Martian Manhunter, and then it kind of that's where the first episode ends, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because oh, you also find out that a lot part of like the government are these aliens in disguise, so
Yeah,
they've
dude,
like been
because
planning this for a while.
when they fight those aliens at the lab, dude, when they crash off the building, that's like early like body horror in cartoons.
Yes.
Like they're like all morphed together and like break apart, and
Yep.
they're all twisted and mangled up, dude. I was like, dude, this is like this is some kid's first body horror right here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Or even like on a more existential level, the fact that an alien intelligence captured you, put you in a fucking pod, and steals your identity, and they have to
yeah.
keep you alive to um, to be able to keep more. I think it was like because they're training them, right? Actually, I don't really think they explained what they were doing with all the people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just kind of like up to you to like.
To kind of horrifically explain what's going on. I also liked how this came with the caveat that you had already either seen Superman the animated series or Batman the animated series. So they didn't really focus too much on those two characters
No,
having
no.
already been
I mean, I agree on that. I think that is very true, but I have I have a feeling there's gonna be a Superman thing.
Oh
Like it's,
yeah, I mean, oh,
uh,
there's gonna be a Batman one. There's gonna be a Superman thing.
but I think you're
I
totally
have
right, though. I think you're totally
yeah,
right that yeah, Superman. Which Superman the animated show is slept on.
yes, it is. It is
That
so slept on.
I I think that whole universe is fucking awesome. Like character design, voice
Yeah,
acting. I mean, even even just whoever wrote it made it so that each character actually talks like that character
and
should.
yes, like Barry Allen is fucking hitting on Wonder Woman the entire
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Which I I love me some Batman, but and I was not a big fan of the Flash, but he was my favorite character in those three
He
because
was.
he to me he was funny. He had kind of like the right thing to say at the right moments or the wrong ones, depending on how you look at it.
You want? I'm gonna
Um,
surprise you. Guess who my
sure.
favorite was?
Hawk Woman.
Close. Wonder Woman.
Okay, yeah.
I love that.
I,
Like I love that when she shows up, they're just kind of doubting her, and she's basically like,
yes.
"I'm gonna show these motherfuckers like what a woman does," and she just flexes on them, and like gets down to fucking
Oh,
work, and it's just like, I mean, I love that. I love that they let her shine because she is a badass,
yes.
man. Like in the comic book, she is a badass. So like, I'm glad. I mean, Hawk Girl becomes my favorite character over time. I
Yes.
I love her, and I love that other characters in the show eventually pop up. You know, not like
Yes. And
other characters from the universe show up.
the verse.
Yeah, like in the DC
And they get their
universe.
moment to shine. Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Um.
demon episode with Batman that we're gonna have to watch. That's such a
Yes.
good two-parter.
Oh man, I can't wait. Honestly. One thing though, Wonder Woman didn't have her own animated show, right? This was the first time
I believe you're right.
these
Yeah, I never heard of a.
because I mean, story wise, she never left that island. So like, if they had an animated series, it I mean, I'm just saying like Justice League and Superman the animated series, Batman the animated series, they kind of mesh with Justice League because it's kind of like a continuous timeline, right? You
I
know.
mean, that's how I look at it.
So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. So it's like, okay, Wonder Woman's never been off this island till this point in time now.
Yeah,
So
that's what they clarify.
that's
Yeah,
her first
that's what I was saying.
animated version. Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier. Is that I like that they play into that whole aspect of her
Yeah.
character a lot. Like it gives a lot of room to develop her as a person. You know, 'cause she's kind of
Yes.
naive and like not really naive, but she's just not aware of certain things and how they do it yet. So like you get to like really show her character build as a person. You know, like compared to where all these
Yes.
other people they've already been superheroes on Earth before. So like
Yeah.
they're in there. And I mean, they still have character development, but hers is like from the begin, like you said, it's like first
Yeah.
time.
It's from the first time she ever left that island.
Yeah, like cuz like you said, Barry, he feels like he's been a superhero for years at this
Yes.
like low key. Like
They had that quick interview with him where
yeah, he's like
Superman's disarming the nukes.
he's like Superman protect the world. I'm the fastest man on earth. Watch this. Where am I now? Here am I. Where am I now? Here am I now? He's like tapping on the dude's shoulder behind him, the guy that's interviewing him. Yeah, dude, no, like, I love it, man. I love it. And I love that Jon Stewart, off rip, like, him and Martian Manhunter, like, they have this, like, serious, like, good guy aura about them. Like,
Yeah, like making the ultimate sacrifice for the greater good kind of deal.
and I also like that they didn't completely stop the aliens. Did you, like, they just
No,
leave.
I picked up on that. Well, they also were like they didn't call them the Justice League, but they're rounding out. The mothership leaves. You're right, because
Yeah.
the ones that are left on Earth get their asses kicked
Yeah,
by
they
the
get
Justice
burnt,
League.
and they get the sun. They get burnt by the sun because they're weak to sunlight because they dwell in caves
Yeah.
on other planets. So they live like beneath the earth on other
Oh,
planets.
I also liked the Supreme Intelligence.
Oh yeah,
I thought
yeah,
that I really liked the fact that finally, not finally, but like there's a series out there where they really took the idea of extraterrestrial life not being bipedal and just ran with it. So it's like this, like you said, like this, like early body horror kind of deal. And even when the Supreme Intelligence is doing that shit to the Martian Manhunter, it's just like you don't want to
yeah.
touch that thing.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
when he's like fighting that supreme intelligence and it starts sticking tentacles in
Yeah,
his skin, that shit looked fucking gross, dude.
yeah. I
Even
was
now,
like,
I was like, I was like, this is
Oh, and
like,
I'm also wondering if he didn't do something to Martian Manhunter while he was in there. That'll
I
come
mean,
back later.
I mean, maybe, dude. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I like that they didn't completely
Yeah,
defeat them because it's like the threat is still there. Like
yeah,
they could be on another planet doing this shit, which they probably are. And like,
yeah.
who cares if they never show back up? It's just cool that like the Justice League like saved Earth, but they didn't completely like win a
They
battle
didn't
off
eliminate
rip.
the
Like,
threat.
yeah,
Yeah,
like their first thing was like they didn't score technically. Like they
yeah, they
blocked. You know what I mean? They
Yeah, they
blocked.
blocked, or even it would be like a what is referred to as like a Pyrrhic victory, where it's
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
win, but you still take massive hit. I mean, Metropolis is in fucking
Fuck.
ruins.
Yeah.
So
Oh
is
no.
so is
That town is
Egypt, so is
fucked.
Paris, so is fucking Malaysia, and like New York is probably like a fucking puddle, you know?
Oh no, it's
Like,
fucked, my guy. Like it. Like imagine insurance in Metropolis. Like
oh god. Oh god, like there's no insurance in Gotham. I'll tell you that. Because those insurance companies are just taking your money. They're not paying you out. Like,
yeah,
you
nah.
know.
Like there's too much shit going on. I mean, same with Metropolis. Then like everything must just have like a fucking like. There must be like there must be some kind of clause like when you buy a building it's like we are not responsible for Superman or fucking whoever to fly through your building like this is on you like you have
I will tell you this is really funny, but it's on the same note because it's a story point in the game. In Ghostbusters the game, they tell you that the city took an insurance policy out on the Ghostbusters. So like the more shit you wreck, the less money you get paid. Because they gotta pay out the city for all the damage you do. And I was like, all right, that makes fucking sense. Like, at least like the city has been like, okay, these guys have a function, but their shit is destructive. You know?
yeah yeah
Like,
yeah
like
man
again, like it's funny to put in like adult logic in like superhero scenarios because it's like that would just be a nightmare, man. Like
oh yeah for surely
uh insurance claim my Toyota Tacoma was thrown at fucking Doomsday by Superman.
yeah
Yeah.
dude that's what I'm saying like you're just like you're like oh yeah Black Adam decided not to use the front door so there's a hole in the side of my wall like like what the fuck man like what do I like you know like who pays for
Who do I
that
talk who do I talk to about this?
nah it would suck I think the boys portray it pretty truthfully honestly like with like the whole first episode where A-Train runs through fucking homeboy Huey's girlfriend
Yep.
like and like
And the lawyers are there like trying to get him to sign a settlement so he won't sue them.
yeah dude no I think they nailed it so I think that's exactly how it'd be like you know like it'd probably suck ass and I feel like if there's superheroes there's way worse things out there
Oh
like
yeah. And the fact that like let's assume like by some miracle somebody gets fucking superpowers and they start doing shit around the world like you know like I'll use a Superman scenario, right? That's going to call attention to all the other shit out there that this guy is here. So you gotta go, bro. Like you're not
yeah
safe for the planet. Like you may be
yeah
safe
yeah
for the city, but some cosmic shit is gonna come eventually looking
yeah
for you.
something's gonna go down that like we don't need here
Yeah. And also like the Batman scenario too, that I think they also played up in Gotham a little bit is that like these masked fuckers just keep coming from everywhere and you have one head honcho masked fucker who's beating them up. You know, isn't that like a vicious cycle? You
yeah
know,
you
like
know no for surely I mean I don't know, man. I guess you have a point. Like, I agree. Like, it seems like when there's a superhero, it just attracts bad guys.
Bad people, yeah.
Yeah. So
Like
I mean,
I mean, I feel like that was the point of Unbreakable too. If you ever saw that movie.
no.
Oh, that is a rare good M Night Shyamalan movie, and it's about superheroes. So
Okay, I can get down with that. I don't think his I mean, he has some really bad movies, but I don't think all of
yes,
his movies are as bad as people make them out to be.
yes. I also feel like I'm sorry. I know we're talking, but I just gotta get this out there. I loved The Village. I thought the
Oh,
twist
that's
at the end
him?
was fucking genius.
That
Yes,
was him? That's a
yeah,
great movie.
yeah. And people hated it because they thought that they were gonna get like it was his follow up from Signs. So people
Yeah.
thought that they were going to get like this creepy psychological monster horror movie, and instead it's just a bunch of people who lived in a fucking protected village trying
Yeah.
to protect themselves.
Yeah. Well, they're trying
You
to keep
know,
the people from leaving.
yeah. And I think the most egregious like marketing bullshit was Lady in the Water because they sold that as like a horror movie fairy tale by M Night Shyamalan, and what they got was a straight fairy tale. So,
Yeah, that's a
you
little
know,
lame.
and that he can't be blamed for that. But the last Airbender was horrific. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That is very true. I will say, not a good movie. That's why I was surprised you said The Village was him, because I thought that movie was great. It scared the fuck out of me as a kid. I
yeah,
remember the first time I watched it, I was at my homie down the street in the same neighborhood. Literally like 5 houses down the street. He lived in the cul-de-sac at the end of my street. And we did an all-nighter, and we watched The Village
yeah,
that night. And when I walked home at 7 a.m., I like sprinted home because I was terrified because I wasn't wearing red. And like,
yeah,
and I was like, or whatever, yellow. And
yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
I was so scared. I was so young. I was probably like 8 or 9.
Yeah. I I was a teenage. I was a teenager when I saw it, but it unnerved me.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying, bro. I was eight or
no
nine
way.
when I watched that movie.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I would. Oof. No, no. Me at 8 or 9
Imagine,
watching that shit. Hell no.
you know what I mean? Imagine your
And
kid
I already
watching
don't like the woods, so
Me either. Fuck that shit. I'm not a camping guy, bro. I am not a camping guy. I'm sorry. Like, I've done it, and I always fucking regret it. Last time I went camping, I came back with like some bug got into my tent and like
oh
tore me the
fuck
fuck
no.
up, and like
Oh,
I was just like, and I don't even think it was mosquitoes because it was way itchier than a mosquito bite.
yeah,
So I was just like, dude, this fucking blows. Like, and then my buddy's brother, he didn't turn his work alarm off, so we're all on this
oh
like
god,
we're at a campsite, so like the ground
yeah,
is gravel. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a gravel campsite, and then you put all your camping shit on top of it. Well, I'm like a tent next to him, and all of us are kind of near each other. His phone is ringing, and you can feel it on the ground, like vibrating while it's ringing on max
yeah.
volume. The people next to us camping had to be pissed off, bro, because
Oh yeah,
everybody ended up being like, Coco, wake your brother up and turn his phone off. Like,
yeah. And also like you're already kind. Well, I'm assuming that you're as paranoid as I am. Like on a normal day, your senses are already heightened. So you're like, the snap of a twig, the hoot of an owl, everything's like, fuck, I'm outside, and you
yeah,
hear like something you're not supposed to hear in the middle of like a campground or close to the fucking woods. Because in my mind, like the trees are here, the tents are here. Like
yeah, yeah.
that would be like the first time I, what the fuck,
Mm.
like
Nah, dude.
we're getting attacked.
Some Lord of the Flies shit.
Yeah.
Get the fuck on, dude. Yo, you're funny. Aren't you going
I mean,
camping soon? Or didn't you go camping?
no, my wife took him camping, but I am gonna go in the summer.
Okay, nice.
I I want to do that one because that one has all the activities like archery and BB gun shooting and fishing and stuff like that. So I want to go do all the cool stuff and then sleep in the woods. I,
You'll be
I
with your
feel like
son.
I'm gonna be around. I'm gonna be with my son, and I'm gonna be around other adults.
Yeah, yeah.
Other adults that do this
All the
regularly. That
time, yeah.
probably, yeah, that probably have like a buck knife or two on them. So like,
If
I
not
think
a
I'll be
fucking
fine.
something
I'm
else.
fucking
It's
yeah.
Virginia. It's fucking Virginia.
Yeah.
More than likely.
I mean, I assume it's the Boy Scout crowd, so they don't really want to bring that kind of shit with them. But maybe if they have one, I'm not going to say no. You know?
It's like, oh, somebody was smart here.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by good old boys. Great, I know I'm good.
Yeah.
Sasquatch be damned.
The only time you want to be surrounded by them is when you're
Yeah, is when you're either camping or in the woods. Like,
God damn it. I mean, you could shine though. You could. I think if they give the opportunity, you should come up with like. I think you should prepare yourself for the opportunity, but a kid's ghost story. I
oh
think.
yeah,
I
I think
think you.
well, I would have to tone it down because like I don't want to freak. I don't want a bunch
That's
of
why I said you have to
7-year-olds.
prepare for it.
Yeah,
You gotta come up with something beforehand that's like that you can do for the kids, you know, and not scare the piss out of them, but
not scare the shit out of them. Yeah.
yeah, but have fun, you know. So you can even look one up, you know, and just
Oh yeah.
fucking.
I honestly, I think I'd probably pull out either or something from R.L. Stein because I know he did a bunch of like on Goosebumps like children's horror books, like
Okay.
the mini shorts or
Yeah.
scary stories to tell in the dark.
Okay. Those might be a little too scary, bro. I feel like we were built different back then. I feel like because that shit low key was pretty creepy, yo. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't good for kids. Like, I think it's fine.
No. Yeah.
But like, but like, I don't know. You're out in the middle of the fucking woods telling a bunch of kids
Yeah.
that shit. Like,
all the parents would hate me.
they're gonna hate you if you tell a scary story in general. Cause some kid's gonna be fucking pissed
Yeah.
scared, no matter how not scary it is. One kid is gonna piss himself later, and the mom or dad is gonna be fucking livid with you. So maybe we scrap this whole fucking idea
Yeah.
before you're the dad who scared all 12 fucking Cub Scouts or whatever.
Yeah. Before I'm the Wednesday Addams of the group.
Yeah, dude. Like, they're like, oh great, the guy he didn't bring his Terra, but he fucking scared the shit out of every kid here. Good job, man.
Good job. The hook. Just pull out some old ass urban legend that like all the parents have heard, like the fucking hook or the
Nah, dude.
babysitter on the guy on the phone, you know.
You just gotta you gotta pick a movie that's so blatant for the parents, but you come up with your own version of it to the kids
Okay, yeah.
and tell them that you made this all up, and the parents are just sitting there like, this sounds really familiar. Why do I feel like this is this movie? But you just changed the names, and it's like, cause it is. I feel like that'd be funny as shit. You just like act like you came up with this shit, but really you just changed Jason's name to like Alfonso. Like,
Just tell the whole story of Monster House, but like,
that's what I'm saying, dude. Just fucking rehash it.
yeah.
Plagiarism by mouth.
No,
Does that count?
no, because that's oral storytelling. Like, perfect example of this in film.
I love
Have
when
you
my
ever seen
girlfriend tells an oral story. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oral? Um, if you ever seen Reign of Fire with Christian Bale and um what's his name?
Oh, Matthew McConaughey.
McConaughey. Matthew
Love
McConaughey, the dragon
McConaughey.
movie. Great great movie on its own, by the way. But there's a scene where obviously like dragons have taken over the planet and they're roasting all the cities, so everybody lives underground in like these mines. So they have like this theater thing, and they're telling the story of fucking Star Wars to a bunch of little kids, and they're making up names and stuff, but it is the story of Star Wars. So I'm like, people will do that event. Like once there's no more like if society collapses and there's no more cinema, we are going back to oral storytelling. And what are
Yeah.
we gonna do? We're gonna pick all the movies that we loved, like Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, like fucking Star Wars, like you know, like I mean Shakespeare, for instance, is a perfect example of this. Like that's all. I mean, he wrote it down, but it's all verbal. People
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
it from, you know. So
Plays and shit. So.
yeah,
No, yeah, for surely. For surely. Alright, fuck yeah. I was wondering, you know. Good little rant by
yeah.
Juju. I'm digging it. I'm digging it.
I should just do that at the fireplace. Gather
Yeah.
around, kids. I'm gonna tell you the story of Julius Caesar.
Every parent be like, alright, we gotta go. We gotta.
He did what to Cleopatra?
They're laying in bed, the parents don't know. And the kid's just like, Dad, did you know how Julius Caesar died? And he's just like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Son,
Mr.
how often do you
Capede.
think about the Roman Empire?
Fuck. Fuck. It's come full circle.
Yeah. My son asked me one time, he's like, tell me a story. So I'm like, all right, let me get one of the shit stories. He's like, no, I want your stories. I'm like, all right, what do you want to know? He's like, I want to know about the emperors. I'm like, which one? Be specific. And he's just, I'm like, why, kid? He's like, because it's boring and I can go to sleep. I'm like, okay.
That's fucking hilarious, yo. Said you're boring the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So I go to bed. That is the funniest shit ever, yo. Like, how honest kids are, and like he meant no offense by it. He meant no.
And you know what though? He was absolutely right because I'm like, what do I go to sleep to? The fucking Roman Empire, the fucking Mongols, the fucking Egyptians. Like, you know, what do I listen to? He's right. I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, because when I was in Cub Scouts, we were all staying up late during like the sleepover thing, and they had like a movie on all night, and they're like, all right guys, I think we finished ET. They were like, we're gonna watch the space shuttle like movie or whatever, and we were like, what the fuck? And like, I
Apollo
mean,
13?
no, like it was like an actual like recording of like one of the spaceships. Like it was like a documentary on spaceship like
Oh,
like a launch.
cool.
I mean, it was cool, but
That
like,
shit would have kept me up because I would have kept watching it.
nah, dude, no, because it was like dark as shit, and like like we're like 8 years old, so it's like 12 at night, so it's super late for us. So like, it just, I don't know. It put all 5 of us out though. The ones that were still awake, like we were fucking out in like 5 minutes, bro. Like,
Genius.
yes, literally, same scenario as your son. Like bored to sleep.
Or
Like,
to sleep. Yeah. Like,
it happens. It's a real thing.
I mean, like, I'll be honest. I love Mr. Rogers. I have nothing bad to say about him. When I was a kid, when my mom wanted me to take a nap on the couch, she would just put on Mr. Rogers.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think it's something about the voice and like the hello kids and like that super mellow that I'd just be like
Yeah.
out.
Knock the fuck out.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking Mr. Rogers. Yo, guys, by the way, make sure you subscribe and like on YouTube if you don't mind. It helps with the algorithm. And make sure to follow us on Twitch at BrainDataXTV. We're live every Friday and Saturday at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with a podcast just like this, but with a chat full of people ready to talk and topics and comic book reviews, movies, and all that good stuff. Just wanted to throw that out there. We're at like an hour 5, and I know Juju's tired, so I'm gonna let him get to bed early tonight. Early,
Yes.
it's 1:42 in the morning, but
Yeah, it's early for me. My wife was like, "Don't go to bed at 2 anymore." I'm like, "All right, 1:45. That's
yeah,
not 2."
you know what I'm saying? Getting started early, but yeah, make sure you guys follow. And remember, never offended, always recommended, and have a great night, my dudes. Peace.